stick it up, you got to bottle up and go. You got to bottle up and go. Well, the high and power woman sure got to bottle up and go. Howdy folks, Bluesboyjag here with yet another requested cigar box guitar lesson. It's Bottle Up and Go by the great John Lee Hooker. This is a 3-string, but we are tuned differently on this one because you can play along with John Lee Hooker if you tune it this way. So we are actually in A sharp. So your 3rd string is A sharp. That's normally an A string from a regular guitar. That's A sharp. Now we have F for the 2nd string. And we have A sharp again for the low string. So we're tuned A sharp, F, and A sharp. So that makes it an A sharp tuning. Not sure why, but John Lee Hooker did that a lot. He would pick up a guitar, whatever it was tuned to, he would just start playing. So for instance, if his 1st string was a little bit sharp, he would tune all the other ones to that string and he would be playing in a sharp key. Sometimes he played in a flat key. However it was tuned at the time, he would pick it up and he would tune the strings together so they would make a consonant chord. But sometimes it was weird chords, like sometimes it would be a 1/4 step sharp or a 1/4 step flat. You never know. So the first thing you want to do on this particular song, I'm using my fingers, but you can use a pick if you like. The first thing you want to do on this one is make sure you're doing a lot of choking. I'm choking with my fretting hand, and I've gone over this a billion times on my channel because lots and lots and lots of blues, especially open tune cigar box guitar blues and regular 6-string open tune, you really have to have your fingers moving and playing the chords and playing the notes. So you're playing the scale and the chord at the same time, sort of, kind of, because you're tuned to a chord. So what that means is I can play a melody and the chord at the same time. So if I strum all 3 strings, that's your typical John Lee Hooker 1-chord boogie. So your home bass basically is 0, which is no fingers at all on the different strings. The 3rd fret and the open and the 5th. So what does that all mean? Well, you can play either 0, no fingers on all 3 strings, or you can play the 3rd fret and the 5th fret. Just to start out. Of course, you can play whatever notes you want, but that's a good way to start out. Basically, open strings of all the strings. Then you've got the 3rd fret, and then you've got the 5th fret. So what does that mean? That means you've got 0 on the 3rd string, the 3rd on the 3rd string, and 5. Same thing on the 2nd, and same thing on the 1st. This is just to get started. This is not strictly the only notes you can play. So basically, it's 0 on all the strings, 3, 5. There's a whole bunch more you can add to that, but we're just going to start with that for now. The next thing you want to do is get that boogie going. So here's the rhythm. Now I just did a whole bunch of different rhythm styles there. Not really though, I'm staying on that same beat. I'm just changing my strum style. I'm muting randomly. So let's start out real simple. I'm muting with this hand, and I'm strictly muting the whole open chord, which is A sharp. And I'm choking with these fingers. This is real important if you want to do the boogie, especially the John Lee Hooker style. You see these fingers flopping up and down? All I'm doing is killing the strum after every strum. So these fingers are flopping a lot. You really got to do that for John Lee Hooker style. Now, we're going to add some notes, and we're going to stay on 0, 3, and 5 for now. What does that mean? Well, we're going to be playing random notes, but not really, because we're only going to be playing 0, 3, and 5 on all three strings. But we're not just going to go up and down and up and down and up and down the scale. It's kind of boring. We're going to boogie, which means we're going to be strumming real funky style. That's basically what it means. So, for instance, I'm using my first finger. I'm not going to do any muting. First finger is on the first string, 3rd fret, just for an example. Well, what I'm doing here is lifting off the fretboard, but not off the string, to do a click. Then I come back on the up strum, pressing down. So I'm not pressing down on the downstroke, but I am pressing down on that string on the upstroke. So you hear that click, that means I'm muting all these strings. I'm not pressing down. And I'm also using my thumb and my second finger and whatever fingers you want to mute all the other strings. So I'm pressing down the first string. So I'm getting that choke out of it by simply bouncing my fingers up and down. I'm just basically playing open on all the strings, and then I'm randomly playing various notes. So we can have 3 3rd fret, 5th fret, and 0 fret. So 0, 3, 5, 0, 3, 5, 0, 3, 5. Up here, just to add a little bit more to it, we're going to start out, go up to the 12th fret, or we can go, that actually sounds more bluesy, so we're going to be on the 12th fret, the 10th fret on the first string, the 12th, and the 10th on the second, and the 12th and the 10th on the third. But we're going to start out down here, 0, 3, 5, 0, 3, 5, 5, 3, 0, 3, 5, 3, 0, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 on the first string, 3, 5. I'm just randomly playing notes. Now I'm going to go to the second string, do the same thing. 3, 5, 3, 5, strumming all the strings. 3, 5. That means 3rd fret, 2nd string, 1st finger, and 5th fret, 2nd string, 3rd finger. Just toggling back and forth. Then I'm also putting those chokes in there, which is real important. All these fingers flopping around. Well, mama killed a chicken, thought it was a duck. Put him on the table with the legs sticking up. You got to bottle up and go. You got to bottle up and go. Big high-powered women sure got to bottle up and go. Notice how I'm playing basically one chord, and I'm throwing in some melodic notes in there. Playing here is 0, 3, 5 on various strings. 0, 3, 5, 0, 3, 5, and 0, 3, 5. I'm not necessarily only playing those notes in that sequence, I'm changing the sequence. So it's a real loose boogie. Well, Mama killed a chicken, thought it was a duck. Put him on a table with the legs sticking up. You got to bottle up and go. You got to bottle up and go. Well, you high-powered woman, sure got to bottle up and go. Now I'm going to go up to the 12th fret and the 10th fret. And I'm strumming all 3 strings, and I'm randomly changing notes with this hand, but I'm strumming all 3 strings. And I'm lifting up after I play, for instance, this note, playing all 3 strings, but I'm pressing down my first finger on 110. Well, what you can do here is lift your finger off the fretboard, not off the string, and that makes it choke. So it's a real short with the other 2 strings ringing out. It's just sort of a kind of random movement, I guess you'd say. So real quick, 12-10, 12-10, 12-10. We're also going to play 7 and 5 and 0-0-0. What does that mean? Well, all 3 strings on 12, first finger on or third finger on 12. Move down, first finger, 10th fret. Same thing up here. Third finger, first finger, third finger, first finger, third finger, first finger. I'm also going 7, 5, 3, 0. So basically 12, 10, just to start out to make it simple. I'm staying up here in this spot for now, but I can play 12, 10, 7, 5, 3, 0 on any string. You add the muting with the fretting hand, and there's tons of videos on my channel with this technique. You got to put all those chokes in there if you want to sound like John Lee. All right, last thing I'm going to show you is some hammer-ons. So what I'm doing is first finger on 1-3, hammering to my third finger on 1-5. But then you got to choke it. I'm doing an up strum with my first finger. And I'm choking this with this hand. Actually, I'm choking with this hand as well. So you can do this, which is a little bit more difficult, or you can choke the final strum with your right hand. So one more time, 12, 10, 7, 5, 3, 0 on all the strings. What does that mean? Just jump around, play all 3 strings, move your finger to the second string and play those frets, move your finger to the first string, play those same frets, or the third. So 12, 10, 7, 5, 3, 0, 12, 10, 7, 5, 3, 0, 12, 10, 7, 5, 3, 0. Those are the frets I'm playing, and I'm just randomly jumping 2 different strings, 2 different frets of those frets only, right? 12, 10, 7, 5, 3, 0. Same on the second string, same on the third. You can't hit a wrong note if you play only those notes, and you can strum all 3 strings all the way through, or you can strum 2 of them, or you can fret 1 of them, or you can fret 3 of them. It's up to you. It's just pretty laid back, pretty open. What more? Sure got to bottle up. Well, mama killed a chicken, thought it was a duck. Put it through the hole with a leg sticking up. You got to bottle up. You got to bottle up. more thing I'm going to show you, which I've showed you many times on this channel before. If you want to sound like John Lee, you got to choke. So real slow, first finger on the first string, 3rd fret. I'm fretting that note, 1, 3, but I'm strumming all 3, and then I'm choking. So the chord is, but I'm choking with this hand, the fretting hand. So that's kind of a weird chord, right? It sounds weird, Jag. Are you sure that's right? Yep. Make it short, then it sounds cool. What did I do there? Playing all 3 strings, randomly changing 5th fret to 7th fret. And choking. One more thing, I'm going to stay in this spot just for a minute or two. This is a little tricky at first. I've showed this on this channel many times. This is your home base on this key, which is A sharp. I'm on the 3rd fret. This is my boogie rhythm. It's not a bombadita. It's not your typical blues shuffle. It's more funky. It's got some different notes that are not in your typical blues shuffle. And the choking really makes it funky. That's super important. All that choking is done with this hand. So for instance, if I play my first finger on 1, 3, and I'm playing all 3 strings, then I'm choking all of them with these fingers. And I'm lifting my first finger off the fret to kill that one. So I can go up here, first finger on 1, 7, and I'm choking all the strings, or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm using my first finger on this strum. So you can just kind of jump around, experiment. You're tuned to the chord, which is open, A sharp. So that chord is always going to be there available for you, with no fingers needed. And I haven't even shown you the bar all the way across technique. So I'm on 12, all the way across, 3rd finger. 2 frets down is my first finger all the way across. 7, all the way across. 5, 3, 0. Doesn't really matter what fingers you use, just depends on which direction you're going. If I'm going to be going up like that, I'm going to go 0, first finger, 3rd finger, 3rd, 0. Get your right hand going, steady. Mute with the fretting hand. Just by simply lifting your fingers up so your strings are not touching the fretboard. That kills your chord. Here's one more thing I'll show you. Hammer-on. Make it a real fast toggle. You can make it slow too. That sounds just as cool. I like to do it fast. I'm also using the nail of my first finger sometimes to do this. So that kind of sounds like a pick in my hand. So I don't have to pick up my pick and drop my pick and pick up my pick again to do these finger style things. I've got my pick built into my hand. put 'em on a table with the legs sticking up. You got to bottle up and go. You got to bottle up and go. Well, a high-powered woman sure got to bottle up and go. Have fun with that. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my website, jagshouse.com. Cigar box guitars for 20 years. Let me know what songs you want to hear. I've been getting a slew of requests, and I really appreciate it. There's tons of songs out there you can play on a 3-string cigar box guitar, so don't worry about the number of strings. Tell me what songs you want to learn, and one way or the other, we'll figure them out on a 3-string or a 4-string. And we'll see you next time.